Several big stories that we are following at this hour. Overseas, top diplomats from the Group of Seven, the G7, are meeting, and they're calling for humanitarian pauses in Gaza. In Miami, 5 Republican presidential hopefuls are preparing to take the stage for a third debate. Notably absent from the debate will be the party's frontrunner, former President Donald Trump. Joining me now, Republican strategist Terry Holt, to talk more about it, former senior advisor to House Speaker John Boehner. So tonight's debate, is this a two-person showdown in your eyes between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis?
Well, there are 5 candidates on the debate stage, but the conventional wisdom is setting up that this is going to be a fight between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis for that title of who's going to be the alternative to Donald Trump. I think we're going to see quite a bit of fireworks. It's going to be a raucous and sometimes chaotic situation. But I think this is really one of those last events where each of the candidates are going to have a chance to go at each other one-on-one. So I look for a lot of sparks to fly.
The conflict in Israel will undoubtedly take center stage. It's been a month since Hamas attacked on October the 7th. Let's start with Nikki Haley and her foreign policy experience. How do you anticipate that she'll play that up tonight?
Well, I think that the issue is going to come to her with the war in Israel very much underway. These candidates are going to be tested by the moderator for their positions on the issues, specifically about Israel and Hamas, but also about Ukraine. There are some divisions among these candidates on the question of funding for Ukraine. So I expect her to stand out as the most hawkish of the candidates on the debate stage.
Viv Ramaswami has been questioning whether or not the U.S. should continue to fund Ukraine and also Israel. How do you expect his campaign to strategize around that, given that this is such a heated issue?
Yeah, I think the issue has left him somewhat on the sidelines. And like the other candidates in the race that we're looking at here tonight that are not Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, he's going to be just looking to breathe some kind of life into his campaign, because at this point, it's looking dire for all these candidates except Nikki Haley, who is really the only one who has really emerged out of this debate process as the clear winner.
And the same might be said for Christie. I mean, he has been the one candidate that continues to come out swinging against Donald Trump. Do you expect the same tonight, or do you expect his team to change that strategy given the fact they're not seeing the momentum that they would probably like?
Yeah, I look for him. This is very much his brand, to be the most anti-Trump of the anti-Trump Republican candidates. I look for that to continue. Trump's just down the road a few minutes in Hialeah this evening. So I look for all these candidates to take an opportunity to stack themselves up against Donald Trump on some issue or another. And I don't look for Christie to do anything different.
And what about Tim Scott? I mean, I feel like as you talk about the 5 on the stage, his name is getting the most attention going into this. How problematic is that?
Well, I think Tim Scott is a great candidate. He would be a great president. But right now, he's looking to breathe life into a campaign that doesn't see much good news on the horizon. Like Ramaswamy and Christie, his numbers have been stuck, and he's looking to get unstuck in this very late stage of the campaign. I look for him to compare and contrast himself somewhat with Nikki Haley so that he can sort of burnish his foreign policy credentials as a United States senator.
How important, Terry, in these debates are zingers, are one-liners where they're going after one another, or is it more substantial than that? What are people watching for that moves the needle?
Well, the American people that are watching this debate are looking for leadership qualities in their candidates. They're looking for some common ground that they share with these candidates. The zingers are often overlooked by the grand scheme of things. You can try really hard to get a good line in, but everybody else is trying to do the same. And it's almost an organic thing that really captures attention. You don't always know what's going to rise to the top in these events, but the moment is really what it is and not the specific zinger.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.